What's up, everybody? In this video, we're going to explore how we can use artificial intelligence to help you code for a component that you are unfamiliar with. Start off by logging into Tinkercad using your course username. Select Circuits in the menu under your designs. You will see our basic setup circuit that we edited in a previous video. Hover over the circuit and click on the gear in the top right-hand corner. Select Duplicate. Click the name of our circuit in the top left corner and change the name to NeoPixel-AI Generated Code. Let's look through some of the components that we can use with Tinkercad. Scroll through the components and select a NeoPixel strip 12. Bring the NeoPixel strip to the work area. Click on the Code tab and ensure the text drop-down is selected. Fill out the information in the header of our code. Update the program name and description. The program name is NeoPixel-AI Generated Code, and the description is a sketch where we use AI to generate code to control NeoPixel strips. Let's see if we can get an AI to generate some code to use a NeoPixel strip. Open a browser and load your preferred AI tool. I'm using Claude. Prompt it with write code for an Arduino Uno to control a NeoPixel strip with 12 LEDs. Claude was able to write some code to control the NeoPixel strip. It also gives us some instructions for how to connect the sensor and what sort of code it created. Let's start by connecting the sensor. According to our instructions, the data pin should connect to pin 6 on the Arduino. And we also need to connect the NeoPixel strip to power and ground. Connect the NeoPixel strip to power and ground on your breadboard. Copy the code and paste it into your Tinkercad sketch. Click Start Simulation. According to the instructions that Claude provided, we should see 3 different animations: rainbow, chase, and pulse. They are supposed to change every 10 seconds. The rainbow animation is playing, but if we wait 10 seconds, the animation isn't changing. Add a new prompt with the behavior we are experiencing to update the code. Copy the new code we received and paste it into Tinkercad. Click Start Simulation. Now it seems that everything is working properly. Cool. Let's have a look at the code that was created. Overall, it is pretty well written, and there's some comments that explain how the code works. Let's try changing the pattern interval variable to see what happens. Update this to 5,000 or 5 seconds. Click Start Simulation, and you'll see the animation changes every 5 seconds. One thing that can happen when you have AI write code is that it will write code that uses concepts you are not familiar with. If I was writing the code and wanted to have a specific interval in between animations, I would start with a delay function. If we search our code, however, you will find that the delay function doesn't exist. Yet we have events executing at a specific interval. Why is this happening? AI is good at explaining any code that it writes and concepts you might be unfamiliar with. Let's see if it can explain how the animation changes every 10 seconds without the use of the delay. Cool. Now Claude has told us a bit about a technique called Millis timing and how this method creates non-blocking code. As you can see from what was created, this technique is a more advanced form of programming, but it is better than using the delay function. Let's ask it to make some more animations. Let's ask if it can make a pulsing function for the colors red, green, and blue. Let's take the new code and test it out. Copy the code from Claude and paste it into Tinkercad. Click Start Simulation. Everything seems to be working okay. One thing I can't tell is how well the pulse function is working on Tinkercad. This is something we would have to test with an actual NeoPixel strip. It seems that everything is working properly. Cool. If you look at the code that was generated, this is something that would normally take a while to write. And if I was writing the code, I would write it out line by line and explain it as I go. Since we have the finished code, we can ask Claude to explain the code and what is happening. As you scroll through each section, it gives you an overview of what each line of code is doing. If you look at the code, there are concepts we have covered in previous lessons: if statements, case statements, variables, even the modulo for cycling through the patterns. You can also ask for more information about NeoPixels. You can see that NeoPixel is actually a brand name that is based on the WD2812B integrated circuit. It also shows you power considerations. NeoPixels can be connected to one another into long chains. To do this, however, would require a lot more current to power every LED. This is a good start into using AI as an assistant to code and is similar to my experiences so far. You normally need to have a conversation with the AI to ensure everything works how it should. If it doesn't, you can prompt it with behavior or error messages and it will try and fix the code. At the end of this video, you should be familiar with NeoPixels and how to generate code to control them using AI.